Hello, hello, hello. Hello,
Ahoy there.
boys and girls. Welcome back to another episode of Live SEO Support.
Sorry we missed last week, but we were snowed in, and that's not supposed to happen here. We're
Yeah.
based out of Texas.
Yeah, I'm sure no one has really missed the news about the snow that we had here.
2 p.m.
Hello, hello, hello. Wait, why am I... Hello.
Ahoy there.
Boys and girls. Welcome. Okay, sorry about that. I was getting some sound feedback from our stream. It scared me. All right, yeah, we were snowed in. We didn't have electricity, didn't have water for a while. The city was declared under a state of emergency, I think, or was
Yeah.
it?
Well, state, right? Yeah.
I don't really know. Yeah, it's pretty crazy stuff for Texas. There are people like snowboarding down the hills.
Mm-hmm.
A bunch of people died,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, what
we
am I-
survived. What were you saying though? You were talking about someone's PBNs?
Hmm?
Were you talking about someone's PBNs right before we went live?
I don't think so.
Did you ever give the
Oh, Travis. Yeah.
you did give them the PBN links?
Mhm. Yeah, I
Cool.
was wondering. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't looked at how it's been doing.
Gotcha. All right, so yeah, I guess we're gonna go ahead and just
He's also the
get-
reason I cleaned up my look too, because he spoke with me and he was like, "Oh, I didn't recognize that was you, because you basically look like a Neanderthal," which Bree agreed with, so I cut it all off. That's it.
Wait, is that really why?
No, I mean, well, I just
He said you didn't look like your picture or something?
Yeah, he said I didn't look like my picture, but that wasn't exactly why. But
That's funny though.
it boosted.
I mean, you did look like shit.
Ain't no doubt about it.
All right. Yeah, we're just going to go ahead and start answering questions in the chat. And we've got some saved that people asked us in other places as well. So yeah, if you got anything to ask, just drop it in the chat and we'll get to you. All right, let's go ahead and start with Shubham. I know I'm saying that very poorly. All right. What type of link building works in niche sites for long-term projects? The same kind of link building for every other type of site.
What an asshole.
That's true.
Yeah,
I guess long-term. Okay,
yeah,
so
long term.
you want something more conservative, nothing too crazy, something that's going to last over time, not going to pick up a penalty.
Yeah, the way we build stuff. I think we're both gonna just jump on the immediate thing, which is diversify. Never the same type of backlink. There's no one type of backlink to rule them all. It's about mixing, matching, and getting a natural blend. And this includes the type of backlinks you're getting, the type of anchors you're using, how many different pages you're going to, and then how that resonates in comparison to the competitors that are ranking in those SERPs as well.
I'm going to go ahead and drop a link in the chat, and if you're watching on YouTube, it'll be in the description. But yeah, it's just an article that I wrote a while back on backlink diversity. And it's probably the single strongest factor that we really pay attention to when we're trying to build links for a site, and we want to build safely, something that's going to last forever, basically, that is not going to pick up penalties. Yeah, I don't know where else we could go with that. So
we could talk. So hypothetical, let's say we're starting from scratch. We got a brand new site. Pillow links are going to consist of a mix of natural links that you would expect a new business to get. So we're talking social profiles, directories, citations if you're local, or even, if you're going after affiliate, you can utilize those links. Forums, blog comments. But we're talking about cleaner links, right? No spammy 500 blog comments from Fiverr, which you can get to work, but we're talking about longevity here. So we're just talking about natural buildup of pillow links. And then when you start adding power or authority, we're going to be talking about niche edits, guest posts, maybe even into PBN. But the point there is to also always diversify with the type of links that you're using every month. So Month number 1, pillowing with high quality pillow links, and then month number 2, 3, or rather, once you start.
Before we move on, here's just some more examples of pillow links. We sell them in packs, but these are normally things you can also do yourself if you've got the time. Citations, directories, form profiles, social profiles, Web 2.0s, social signals, and then there's actually another similar pack we have to that is the diversity links, and it's got a couple extra different kinds in here, like Q&A links. It's from sites that are kind of like Quora, and audio video links. Audio link would be like a link from something like YouTube, or sorry, a video link. Audio would be from like an audio site. You got slideshow websites. So these are things that we consider pillow links that are natural for sites to get in the very beginning. We also like to use them kind of sporadically throughout link building as well, because the whole concept of diversity, keeping your link profile looking natural, not just one type of link, getting lots of different links from different types of websites. You were saying after the pillowing in the beginning.
Right. Well, so, and you can also utilize things like niche edits and guest posts to pillow. You're just going to be changing your anchors to be like homepage, or to the homepage branded, naked, generic type of anchors. And so you can pillow using that initially as well.
Yeah, so that would be more like anchor pillowing, even though you're just using one type of link, because niche edits are, on real websites. We also consider real safe as well.
Yeah.
A little bit different.
Yeah. And so, initially, like the point of pillowing is to get some momentum in the SERP. So once in Ahrefs, or if you've got it in Google Analytics, you'll be able to see when it starts to resonate in the SERPs. And that's when you can start attacking a little bit harder. It's essentially like you've gained some trust and some momentum. You can start capitalizing off that. But still, the point is to have longevity in this game, or, that's the question you're asking. So we're always going to diversify the types of links, the types of anchors we're using, and where these go to. But from a brand new site, and even ongoing, monthly, if it's a asset that I'm looking to take long term, then it's going to be primarily homepage focused backlinks, rather than, heavy inner page focus.
Yeah, I guess so. That's another thing. So, so far we talked about the concept of diversity, the concept of using like pillow links, and just different types of links in general, and anchor diversity, anchor text, and using, different types of anchors. And then you have your target diversity, I guess you could say as well. So like Nick was saying, especially in the beginning for a site, you want to be going a lot to the homepage, linking to your homepage, and then slowly starting to link out to inner pages as well. We like to go pretty heavy on home pages. We just think it's it's the safest for long-term projects like you're talking about, and it's also what we think is the most like cost-effective for long-term projects as well, because you're basically building up the power of that homepage, which then kind of trickles down into everything else, right? So it just becomes easier to rank your inner pages once you have a strong homepage and maybe some strong like hub pages as well.
Yeah, I was going to say utilize, proper hub pages, which the homepage can act as a hub page as well. But yeah, if you learn to utilize those, you're going to get a lot more efficiency and effectiveness out of your backlinking campaign through a lot more post pages.
I want to do a little paint drawing.
Nice. Art.
Even though I probably don't need to, but
go ahead.
Here, let's see. How did I do it last time? I got one that was like real thick. Here we go. Yeah, so if you imagine like, let me get this a little bit bigger, I guess. If you imagine that this is your homepage right here, and then let's say you've got maybe this is your blog, or this is or maybe they're just category pages, or maybe even like product categories. It doesn't matter what they are. They're just other pages that then go and link to a bunch of other pages. Maybe you're linking to blog posts or types of products or whatever. As far as target diversity goes, when you're building links, like I said, you're building mainly to here, or this is probably the one with the highest percentage of links, your homepage. Then, all of these hub pages down here would also be getting a ton of backlinks. but not as much as the homepage. And then once you get down to the, your individual blog articles down here, these would be getting the least amount of backlinks to them, right?
Yeah, it's what's just, more natural over a large kind of broad view of what websites do naturally in the SERPs.
And we're not saying you can't send a lot of links to these pages. This is just how we primarily like to build. You might end up having to link to one of these posts a whole lot to get it to rank or whatever. But yeah, kind of try to keep the number down a little bit rather than letting it get too heavy on links.
Yeah. If you kind of silo things properly, like, this model kind of shows, then you're going to get a lot of efficiency trickling down through these funnels.
Yeah, so if you're
from the homepage.
So the homepage, is trickling down to here. This category page or whatever is trickling down to all these other sites, right? And maybe these ones are also linking to this one over here. So you just get the link juice really flowing in a way without getting these inner pages too heavy on links.
And if you do this properly, a lot of times once you've got a site with a lot of momentum that's really built out, you'll start to notice that these pages, after all of this network is beefed up, are going to sometimes just auto rank for even terms that you might be surprised that you just
can't really see because my big head.
I just saw that too. Yeah.
Sorry, our drawing was kind of not in a good place, but here you go.
Okay.
Yeah, so we covered link diversity, we covered anchor diversity, we covered kind of target diversity, if you want to call it that.
And
else?
if you see a little bit of spam trickling in through a very clean backlink profile, don't necessarily jump to the conclusion that it's going to be really bad for you. A natural link profile will include a well-diversified portfolio of websites that are linking to you. And if some of that happens to look, like it's not the best, that's all right, so long as you're offsetting all of that by primarily having high-quality backlinks. So if you're paying for them, get the good ones.
I guess that's another thing we could go into. We could start going into the quality of the actual links that you're getting. I'm going to go ahead and get another article for you and drop it in the description or in the comments.
Is that a new slider on there? Diamond slider?
No, I made that one a while ago. You guys like my super cool graphic design. But yeah, so this article we talk about kind of, the quality of the links that you're getting. Obviously, we don't condone using a bunch of like spammy tactics or whatever. We're not saying it doesn't work. We're saying that it has a higher probability of getting a penalty or just not working, right?
Yeah.
But sometimes it ends up working really well. You don't know how long it's going to last for, right?
But for longevity, just stay away. For the sake of longevity.
So when we're talking about quality backlinks, the three main things you want to consider: relevance, authority, and power. Relevance is like the link actually being from a article or a website that's kind of related to your what's being linked to. And so, it doesn't have to be super laser focused. For example, if you're have an article about cell phones, it could be from a tech website or even a news website, right? But yeah, generally, the more focused, the better. But that doesn't mean that something that's more broadly relevant can't be good for you. Then you have authority, which we kind of think about as like the overall kind of picture of the domain that's linking to you, which would include its backlink profile and then some more kind of obscure stuff like trust. And then we have power, which we kind of think about as the backlink profile of the specific page that's linking to you. And yeah, basically if you have, like in this one right here, in this picture, you have a link that's super relevant, but it's low on authority and low on power, that link is still okay for you. It might take down its worth a little bit being a low authority link, but it's still highly relevant, so it's still great. Then you have this one over here. can see it's just kind of broadly relevant. So maybe it's just a broad tech website or an article about tech instead of an article about phones. And it's not that powerful either, but the domain that it's coming from is high authority. So, this is still a good link. So basically you just want to look at these three things and kind of gauge it from there as far as, what the link's worth to you. And these three things being kind of the most important things we determine the quality of a link. Then you have some other stuff like, traffic. Traffic's a hot thing. We definitely
It's
like
a hot topic.
Yeah. We like to see traffic on links, but we don't think it's 100% necessary, especially with stuff like PBNs, Yeah, I think that's about it. Of course, contextual links are going to be your biggest winner rather than like a sidebar or footer link or something. And of course, do follow is preferred, but it's normal to get no follow links as well. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it for
Yeah.
I think we exhausted this question pretty good.
Yeah, it seemed like it was going to be simple, and then we just kind of trailed on for 20 minutes.
Well, it was a big question,
Yeah,
right?
it's a big
It's a
question.
really broad question.
And I feel like there's going to be offshoots to it as well.
All right, let's go ahead and see what's next.
There was a local question directly after that one.
Any advice on ranking in the local pack? I guess you mean the map pack.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's going to function the same way as any of your other campaigns.
Step 1, get a GMB.
Right. Yeah. It's heavily tailored to the power of the actual site, but I would recommend sending links to both the website and the GMB. And so, it's the same as any other campaign. You need a clean site with good on-page going, and then you're going to, manipulate your backlinks in some way, shape, or form to add power, relevance, and trust to that particular asset. There are other ways that you could gain traction in the local pack. A fun one that we were talking about earlier is, if you find an old listing that doesn't have a website attached to it and looks like it's been dead for a while, you and some friends can go suggest an edit to add a website in there, and I've done that and gotten map pack in 2 days. Just
How to rank map pack in 2 days? Go steal an abandoned one.
Yeah, I mean, it's like house squatting or something. Just put yourself in there. Now, granted, that's heavily dependent on the metro and how competitive it is, and you've got to look out that there's something like that there. But if we're just talking about ground up, get yourself a GMB, build a good website, and then continually add. You're going to want to look at your competitors, see what kind of sites they're running, how large they are, what kind of content they're boosting. A lot of times you're going to have to add national sort of like informational articles in order to boost that as well. But depending on the metro, if it's, sub 100,000 population, a lot of them are really easy to get into.
Yeah, I've seen this question around a lot. I guess most of the people that we're around now are more affiliate. I guess probably most of the people in this group are more into affiliate SEO. But yeah, the way we rank local sites is basically the exact same way you rank any other site, and that includes getting into the local map pack. There's just a few extra things that you do to get into the map pack, right? Step 1 is having the GMB. Step 2 is, making sure your citations have the right like the right NAP, name, address, and phone number on them. And again, making sure NAP is on your website as well. Having stuff like people do like map embeds on their site and stuff. But yeah, in general, if you're just doing the normal stuff correctly, citations, correct NAP on your citations and your website, you have a GMB, it's filled out well and everything like that. The GMB in the map pack tends to follow your site around. So yeah, it would just be like ranking any other site. The only difference would be as far as links go that you want to get some location relevant backlinks as well, along with the citations, which a lot of people don't use for affiliate. So yeah, you'd want to get, if you had a business in Houston, you'd want to get some Houston links, maybe some links from Houston companies, or at least from articles that have something to do with Houston, right?
Yep.
Anything else?
That's basically it.
Cool. Yeah, I wouldn't worry. It's not really a different ball game. It's pretty similar. Just a few other things you kind of pile on top. All right. Let's see, what do we got next? There was a third one.
Yeah, this one here now.
And Shawl.
It's. I mean, if you're in 8, well, I guess put it up so people can see. But yeah, we won't spend too much time on it. So if your site's already in the 8th position, page 1, it's healthy. For me personally, at this point in time, I'd say backlinks, more powerful backlinks, more authority backlinks. But if you compare your site to other ones that are ranking for those SERPs, and you kind of audit them using tools like Ahrefs to see what kind of backlinks, how many referring domains they have going to them, etc. You should be able to get a better picture about how much you're going to need to boost yourself to position 1. But a lot of times, those last few spots are the ones where you get competitive. Just depends on the competition of the actual SERP.
Yeah, we actually got a video here from, I think it's from last week. I'll go ahead and drop it in the comments. And yeah, so the video was increasing rankings from mid-page 1 to number 1, which is pretty much exactly what you're talking about, right? And yeah, it's going to depend, on your exact case or whatever, but I think what Nick was just going to talk about, you're going to see basically in that video, we're going to go and probably analyze the competition, basically see what the gap is, like what's the site missing? Is it is it just an RD game, or or just is the number 1 ranker have 100 links and you've only got 20, or something like that, or is it something different? Maybe your links, maybe you just got a bunch of low quality links or whatever, or you'd always want to look into other stuff like your on page as well. We'd really have to see the site to know more, but
if he's on page 1, his on page is probably
that's true.
Okay enough to boost up.
Yeah, but you never know. Like, for example, we saw we were analyzing someone else's site the other day, or no, we were just like looking at sites ranking on page 1, and it was like a Houston plumber that was ranking like number 4 or something, and they didn't have the exact match keyword on the page even one time.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
So it could be something like you definitely want to check it.
That's true.
But yeah, I mean, generally, if you're already on page 1, I feel like most of the time when people ask the question, it ends up just being a link differential.
A lot of times, yeah. But you're right. It's yeah.
But yeah, like for example, the plumber site that we looked at before, he probably got to page 1 because he had some awesome links. His on page was horrible. He wasn't targeting his main keyword at all, but he was still on page 1 just from the power of the links that he had. Here he says, I have 8 articles in my
That's somebody else.
Oh, sorry. Oh, it's the same guy. Both the names start with an A. Yeah, and Shaw, if you want us to answer further, you could PM us your URL, but maybe don't post it in the comments. All right, we're going to hop over and answer Demian. Assuming there is enough anchor text diversity, is there an upper limit to how many internal links a target page can have? So we're talking about two different things here, it seems like.
Well,
So I guess you mean your internal anchor text, okay? Um, I don't know. Is there an upper limit to the, like, you obviously probably don't want to link to it from every single page on your site. Well, actually you can, because for example,
yeah.
menu links for example, could link to a product page from every page of your site.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I wouldn't say there's a limit really. But yeah, like you had said, you definitely want to diversify the anchor text even for your internal links, right? You don't want to just hammer the same exact match over and over and over. You can get some more benefit from switching it up, just like you would with external links. You know, use variations of your keyword, use some generic stuff, like click here.
And then I guess it's worth talking about, you can have contextual internal links, and then you can also have things like related posts at the end, etc. If we're talking contextual, then I would keep it pretty relevant to the amount of words that are on that page. If it's 500 words hypothetical, I'm probably only going to do like one or two internal links, I would guess. But that's not to say that that's a limit.
I also wouldn't, I wouldn't say that you should go in and, link to your most important blog article from every page on your
Right.
site. Not that it would necessarily hurt you, but because I don't think you'll really realize that much of a benefit from it. As far as like, what you should actually do, I would link to the article from where it makes sense to link to it from, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you have another article that's kind of related to it, for example, our guest post product page, if we have an article that's something about link building or guest post, we might link to our guest post page. But we've got a lot of articles about link building, so we might not link to it from every one just because it's not necessary. We can go and hit other targets as well, right? Yeah, I haven't really, I don't think I've ever seen that question before, but I wouldn't worry about hurting yourself with too many internal links to a page, but I wouldn't necessarily just go crazy with it either. Just do what's natural, right? Link to a page from relevant stuff.
Mm-hmm. I was kind of off on my, yeah, I read the question wrong, and I just, what you were just saying, I was like, oh, I understand
So
the
is your
question
new
now.
answer what I said?
Yeah.
What he said?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Hopefully that makes sense, Damien. Let's see what's next. Actually, we already answered this one.
Uh-huh.
How can I optimize my website for local searches? Okay. All right, next one. Recently added about 500 backlinks from subdomain articles. It didn't make any difference in DR or traffic. Are links from subdomains not counted as good links?
Well, so when I see a rounded number like 500 backlinks from subdomain articles, I think to myself some
Web
kind of
2.0 spam.
like, yeah, something made, something built by bots or something.
If 500 links is a lot of links.
Hypothetical, getting a link from a subdomain is not going to have any negative influence or positive influence any more than it is with any normal domain. A subdomain is just treated as its own domain. So, if it's a good subdomain that's powerful, it's got relevant content, etc., you're going to gain benefit from those subdomains that you're getting links from. Then, you're monitoring DR and traffic via 500 subdomain backlinks, which I think, if you're doing backlinking, you're going to want to monitor what you're doing in organic rankings more than anything else, because you're looking for a boost in organic rankings, right? That might translate to traffic, but we're not looking to gain traffic via being on these subdomains. It's about the backlink manipulation. So my guess to this last part is that these are not high quality subdomains. You can maybe PM us if you want with a sample, but my guess is this is more of like it sounds like a Fiverr gig.
It sounds like Web 2.0 spam.
And it could be Web 2.0, yeah.
I'd wager, I'd make a bet on that.
Which Web 2.0s, I mean, are probably one of the better, well, you can utilize them. I don't know about better, but you can utilize them and get good influx off of them. But if you're doing 500 and it's spun content, etc., then that's not a high quality link.
Yeah, so, there's nothing wrong with links from subdomains. A link from a subdomain can be an extremely powerful link for you.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like the problem is probably the exact kind of subdomain links that you built. And like Nick said, I wouldn't really pay attention to DR or traffic in Ahrefs. Pay attention to your rankings, right? DR is a made-up number, and traffic is I guess you could pay attention to traffic, because traffic is just an estimate based on your current rankings that Ahrefs sees. So generally, if Ahrefs is saying your traffic is going up, that means that you've basically got more page 1 rankings, or even page 2. Your rankings are going up. But for example, you might be moving from like page 6 to page 3 or page 2, and Ahrefs isn't really going to show much of a traffic boost, even though you got a pretty solid jump to maybe basically where the competition really starts. So yeah, I'd pay attention to your rankings and make sure you're getting quality links, whether they're from regular domains or subdomains. Don't do any spam blasts like it looks like you did. Anything else?
No, that's about it.
All right. There's that. Should you put external links on your blogs, or it's fine to just use internal links?
I'm guessing he's talking about outbound authority links, right?
Oh yeah, I was looking at it the wrong way, but I guess that probably would make more sense. So we'll change it to outbound links on your blogs.
So links to other websites, guys and girls.
And yeah, it's good to do.
It's good practice, yeah. We don't, even if you look on SER Links a lot, you can go through there. We use outbound authority links in our articles here and there, but they're sporadic, and they're pertinent to whatever we're discussing. So, a lot of people are worried, oh, well, it's going to send off my link juice, blah, blah, blah. It's also natural, and it makes sense. And you're going to get value by linking out to other trusted authority figures. It makes you look like, you're part of the grander discussion, so to speak. So
yeah, it also, in the same way that Google learns about your website from where it's being linked from, for example, an article about dogs links to your article or your website about dog toys or whatever. Google likes that, right? And it works the same way the other way around. If you're linking to a website or a Wikipedia article or something that's related to what you're talking about, Google takes that into account as well.
Places we might not advise doing that, or like if I think about it, product pages,
Yeah, Yeah, I normally do not link out from main product pages, more like the informational content type stuff.
But if you got like a review affiliate site, then yeah, you can throw out a couple authority outbound links into those posts.
And also, I don't, of course, don't link to a competitor, right?
Right.
I actually saw someone in a group recently saying that basically they hired an SEO company, and the company was linking to their competitors,
Awesome.
and they said that was how we were going to beat them, is you link to them, and then it, I don't know, somehow helps you beat them.
Amazing.
So yeah, don't link to your competitors. You want to link to someone that you don't think you're ever going to be competing against.
Granted, we say that, and it's like we've got pages where we link to our competitors, talking about like Facebook groups, etc. But yeah, it's that's more of like a
We've never linked to like
honorable
a major
mention type
competitor though.
Yes, we have.
Have we?
Mm-hmm.
Whatever.
Yeah, we've just done it as like nice, and then we never even bothered telling them about it. So yeah, some of y'all getting free links, but it's best practice not to do that. We've got reasons for doing it, but
yeah, it's not it's not the biggest deal, but generally you don't want to give your competitors links,
an edge, right? Yeah.
But maybe your competitors are your friends too. So
yeah, we're trying to get friendly.
That's good networking, right? Yeah. Let's see what's next. I think we might go into something else now. All right, so we have a question about H tags. Wants us to explain like H1, H2, H3, H4s. I would normally say that this question is not something too important, but I guess with the new like passage indexing stuff, it could be a little bit more important to structure your articles while using H tags. Yeah, they're real simple, so just cover it real quick. H1s you generally want to use as the it's at the top of your page. I don't want to say it's the title, but don't get confused with your actual title tag. It's something very different. So H1 is normally the biggest text at the top of the page that looks like a title. Your H2s
just use one H1.
Yeah, I've seen some arguments about that. People using multiple H1s. I don't think it's the end of the world. Best practice is to use one H1. And yeah, like your H1, your title tag, and your inner page URL, those are like your three kind of like most important on-page places to put keywords, right? So you generally want to use your important keywords in these locations and kind of switch them up between each one instead of using the same exact thing in each one, right? You want to diversify that a little bit. And yeah, it also lets you target more stuff. Like Google, is pretty smart. So you target more stuff and Google knows it's all related. So it just ends up working out better for you rather than over optimizing. So yeah, then after that, I guess we can come back to the beautiful paintbrush. I always think about H tags in kind of like a hierarchy like this. So your H1 is like your main, there we go. So your H1 is like your main indentation or whatever. And then so you come off that. And so then maybe your article has 3 different subsections or whatever. Then maybe each subsection after this has maybe 3 H3 subsections or whatever. I'm not even going to do it. But yeah, generally, I think for most of our articles, for example, on Sir Links a lot, we're just really using H1s and H2s. If it's a real big article, we'll go down to the H3s. I can't think of the last time I've used H4s really.
I haven't used anything past H3 in years now.
Yeah, so generally, for 500 or even 1,000 word article, probably just doing H1s and H2s. But But yeah, if it's a big article and it can be thought of in these other groups like this, and it just makes sense, then go ahead and do that. And using getting your like keywords in for each of the H2s. So for example, if H1 was like how to build backlinks,
There we go, yeah.
and then H2 was like how to build guest posts or something. Get your important keywords in there as well, because then with the new Google like passage indexing stuff, it helps Google basically see what your page is all about, know exactly what each section is about, and then you could end up rewarding you by giving you the new thing on the SERP.
Yeah.
What's the old one called? God, my brain's not working right now.
What, featured snippet?
Yeah, featured snippet. It's like a featured snippet, but bigger, right? So, yeah, as far as what it looks like right now, people are just saying if you use proper like H tag implementation, it just increases your odds of being awarded these new featured snippets, the passage indexing a lot higher. Anything else?
No, that's good.
H tags.
Some fundamental work. I feel like we don't get to do enough of that.
Mm-hmm. All right, we'll go back to Demian. Good question, Demian. Would your niche edit package deals help with diversifying anchor text as well as add authority if I sent them all to my homepage? It sounds like you're kind of getting a couple things. Well, I guess
No, we explained that in a video not long ago,
I
especially
was
how
gonna
we use Barrage.
I was gonna say it sounds like you're getting a couple things mixed up, but no, you can absolutely diversify your anchor text and add authority at the same time, right? Let me go ahead and pull up the niche edits page just to kind of walk you through some stuff. So, so here's the 3 packs. These are just like our normal packs. We don't sell the individuals. Then you have the package deals, which are basically just these repackaged in different ways. Yeah, so, as far as diversifying anchor text, let's say that you have a bunch of just money anchors, and maybe you have some branded anchors. Any link that is not money or branded, any link that is not already what you have a lot of, would be adding diversity, right? So normally when we talk about diversifying anchors, we're talking about URL anchors, generic anchors like click here, and then what did I say? URL, generic, and branded anchors, which is just the name of your website usually, or your brand name. Yeah, so I mean, if you bought one of these packs and sent them to your homepage, yes, that would be diversifying your anchor text and adding authority. Generally, I'm not saying that's a bad idea, because if you want to add authority and diversify your anchors, you can do that with these tools. Normally, when we're diversifying anchors, our favorite tool is actually right below, which is they're low authority niche edits. And
Well, yeah, go ahead. I'll let you finish.
we like using them for diversifying anchors because basically we don't want to use a more expensive link on an anchor that doesn't have anything to do with our keywords, like our important keywords. And I'm not saying that you should always use money anchors on your expensive links. It makes sense for these to be diversified with their anchor text as well. Just generally, when we're diversifying anchors, we do prefer to use the low authority barrages just because they're more cost effective. But yeah, it really depends on what you're trying to do in your situation.
Yeah, I think it depends on, where you're at with your site, because the fact of the matter is we typically use Barrage when we need to diversify an anchor profile. So if we go into Ahrefs into a site that's historically been really bad about
That's true. That's
heavy
true.
money anchors, then, we're going to use Barrage to to break up what looks unnatural, which is the anchor text profile, right? However, if we've got a very healthy site, like I said, for longevity purposes, we primarily focus on homepage and natural anchors over time. So if hypothetical, we've got a clean website with good backlinks, and we want to increase authority, and we want to be very conservative with our anchor text profile, you can get something like, let's hypothetically say we got an Excalibur, and then, maybe 70% are going to be natural, 30% are going to be a little bit more, geared towards money anchors, and so you're chopping things up like that. But no doubt, if you use branded naked generic anchors with high authority backlinks, you will still see an increase in overall SERP health.
Yeah, just to repeat what Nick said, Nick's right. We do generally use these barrage packs more. Basically, when whoever was working on the site before did something wrong, right? Their anchor profile is not looking good, and we just want to go in there and blast it really hard, really fast, and try to correct what's been done. Try to de-optimize by putting in a bunch of natural anchors really fast. If your site isn't like that, then yeah, you could maintain diversity. We'll say maintain rather than correct. Maintain diversity with the more authoritative stuff would be absolutely fine and probably better.
Better for sure. I mean, hypothetical, you've got 2 test sites and you send one, level 6 link at one. They're exactly the same. And then one barrage link at one. Same anchor text, let's call it branded. You're going to get better resonance out of the higher authority link.
So I think we kind of just answered this one, but
It's part of this last question, right?
yeah, so it's a follow-up. It says, should we only build links with the aim of fixing one issue? Example, anchor text, diversity, power, authority, relevance at a time, or could blending outcome goals work? Blending is best, right? The expression, kill 2 birds with 1 stone. If it's possible, definitely do it. So like we were just talking about before, so let's say, a site had taken a hit in the rankings or whatever, and it was losing rankings, and it just wasn't looking very healthy. And then we also saw that its anchor text was all messed up, and that a lot of its links were not relevant. So our solution to this would be because it's not looking healthy. Whenever a site's not looking healthy and it's losing rankings and keywords, we're automatically going to the homepage. We're linking to the homepage in most cases. B, we're fixing the anchor text. We'd be sending very natural anchors to the homepage. And C, to fix the relevance issue, we'd be sending relevant links to the homepage, right? So it'd be kind of send 3 birds with 1 stone. You're taking care of the relevance, you're taking care of the anchor diversity, and we're taking care of the site basically losing trust with Google, right? In that case, so I'd probably maybe do a little barrage blast to try to correct the anchors quickly, but then I'd be doing authoritative, relevant links to the homepage with natural anchors. Hopefully that kind of answers your question.
Yeah, it sort of goes back to the question we got earlier about diversifying your link profile. So anytime that we can, hypothetical, everything's going well, because like Chris said, first thing is the site healthy? If it's not healthy, then there's going to be variables that you need to pay attention to. But overall, typically if there's an issue, it has to do with things not looking natural. So a way to get out of that hole is to begin blending and doing things on a more natural trend. Hey, Josh.
What's up, Josh? All right, let's see what's next. Hey guys, we need more questions. If you're watching, go ahead and give us a question, or else we're just gonna be taking
Give us some zingers.
We're gonna
Bring
be-
them on down. Stump us.
we're taking our backup questions.
We'll admit it if we don't know, we don't know.
Not even gonna answer that one.
How long does SEO take to show up in Search Console? Oh, God. Sometimes it never shows up.
This is a good one. We kind of talked about this before, but we can. What is the best number of outgoing links to use in a guest post? So basically, how many outbound authority links should you include in a guest post?
Mm-hmm.
So you're buying a guest post, or you're getting a guest post yourself, and then you're wondering, should that guest post that's linking to you also link to other stuff?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so the answer is always, what is natural? So depending on the length of the articles, etc., you can add more. But hypothetically, let's look at it from big picture, right? If a website's got 500 articles linking to it, do you think it's normal that all of those articles only include a backlink to you, to one specific website? Or do you think it'd be natural to see a variance in there? Like 5 links from on this one, 3 links on this one, 2 on this one, 0
Is it
on
natural
this
for a website to only link to websites that are kind of like less authoritative, the people
Right.
that would really be
Mhm.
purchasing links, right?
Mhm.
And the answer is no,
Right.
right? Just like on your own site, you're using outbound authority links. You want things like your guest post, or even PBN, or you could say especially PBN links.
Mhm.
You want the article to have outbound authority links in them as well. It's
Yeah.
more natural.
I mean, I worry more about having those natural link profiles, outbound link profiles, than I do about losing link juice, which is what everybody complains about if there's, too many links on a page. Now, is there a threshold? Yeah, there is. So if you go to a guest post and there's 15 links, it's 600 words. Some of them have to do with Viagra, but you're talking about selling dog toys. Yeah, those are issues, right?
Yeah, so if I got a guest post, it's just my guest post,
Mhm.
a niche edit, I might be a little bit more forgiving for 15 outbound links. But for a guest post, I'd want to see at least one.
Mhm.
But I would say, I'd say it's pretty normal for a guest post to have, 1, 2, 3 outbound links, 2 or 3.
Sure. Yeah. Just what's most natural is that it's random. So if you make your link profile as random and diversified as you possibly can, then that's a good way to have longevity in the SERPs, because you're gaming an algorithm, right? This thing doesn't just sit around and it's not a sentient being. It's looking for randomness. What's natural in nature.
And like Nick said, if I got a guest post and it didn't have an outbound link in it, that wasn't to me, like if it didn't have another link to some other website, I would be more worried about that than if it had, like 4 other links in it to other sites.
But even that's okay, so long as
the other articles,
all the other ones aren't like that. Yeah.
But yeah, I was just saying, if I saw it right away, I would be just a little more sketch about that.
And that's typically how you get a guest post, is, there are a lot of times no outbound authority links. So if you're ordering them, from random vendors, then, a lot of times it's good to just specify how many you want. Just
not always
take the
possible,
guesswork
though.
out. Yeah, not always possible.
It's up to the webmasters. But for example, like with our guest posts, we try to do it. We're doing it. Try to get at least one. But as well as like our PBN links, and we'll have people ask to remove the outbound links, and
we won't do
it's
it.
generally unless there's something kind of like extreme, if there was a mistake made or whatever, the answer is generally no.
Right.
And the reason is, it's for the safety of
The network.
The network, which now includes your site.
Correct.
Because now you're being linked to it. So it's for everyone's safety, including your own, that these links are there.
Yeah.
But there's no best number. The best number is random and
natural. Yeah.
Yeah. Brian, I do not see your question. If you're watching on YouTube, you can just copy and paste it into the chat again, but I'm not seeing it here. Unless I'm missing it somewhere.
I didn't see it.
Yeah, I'm not seeing your question, Brian.
There it
Oh,
is.
here we go. For an Amazon affiliate site for niche products, which do you think really drives the sales conversion? Content management, quality, or SERP visibility? I feel like there are 50-50 in importance. Well, this is, I'll let you take it.
I mean, I'm going to go with the SERP visibility is the most important up front.
Yeah, you have to get the traffic on your site
right.
in order to convert it.
Right. And
right?
so with no traffic, beautiful, elegant content can exist in the middle of nowhere and get absolutely no traffic. And you do see that happen. It's not always the most well-written intellectual content that gets to the top of page one. And so while I would say that SERP visibility is more important by quite a bit.
But it's not something you usually associate with conversion rate.
Right.
Like these things are normally they're thought about as kind of separate, right?
Mm-hmm.
SEO primarily focuses on SERP visibility. Ranking higher so that more people see your site and then click it. Once they're on your site, you talk about conversion, which is converting them into whatever the desired action is, signing up for your email list or purchasing a product or whatever. But yeah, once they're on your site, content, the way you're doing your content, the way your site layout, everything like that, your user experience is extremely important for actually landing the sale. So these things kind of work in tandem rather than be something that are competing with each other. But a lot of people, especially, the kind of the way that we came up on SEO was much more focused on SERP visibility rather than the actual content on your site and the conversion rate on your site. But, that also stems from us just being more interested in SEO itself rather than the next part of the process, which is driving the sale, which is, still important.
Yeah. Now, having said that, you can't get away with a lot of the things that we used to do as far as crappy content ranking goes.
That's true.
So, it's good to provide quality content. Now, let's say hypothetical, I've got an option to get a site that's got amazing content that I could imagine would convert just through the roof, but it doesn't rank anywhere. Or I've got a asset that already ranks, but the content is mediocre, but it's for a 20,000 search term. Then I'm going to take the 20,000 search term one and to hell with content, honestly, because that's going to convert on some level. Let's say even like 0.03, you're going to get more conversion than you are with a billboard in the middle of nowhere, so to speak. High quality content, but if nobody sees it, it's not going to convert at all.
Yeah. Another thing, probably like the more efficient way to do stuff is, focus on SERP visibility first, getting some traffic onto your site, and then you start fine tuning or doing CRO, conversion rate optimization. You basically start fine tuning your content and your just the way it's all laid out and everything.
And that's like its own thing in and of itself, right? You're going to have more data with more traffic, so then you're going to be able to fine tune.
You can start doing split testing if you want. But yeah, so generally we like to do SERP visibility first. I can't talk today, and then focusing on conversion after that. But if you're some pro, like super pro SEO,
You already get a lot of money.
you already know, you already have a very good idea of what you want the page to look like. That's going to convert very well. That's fine. But I'm guessing if you're asking this question, and you're maybe not a super duper professional on it, so you could focus on it in that order: SERP visibility, then conversion rate optimization.
That's a good question, though.
Yep. Yeah, Brian, I don't know what happened. We couldn't see it the first time you'd posted it for some reason. Not sure what the problem was there.
And was that our last question, or are we going to do one more? Assuming we even have one more.
We can find one. We'll do one more, unless, yeah. If anyone has any question left, go ahead and drop them in the chat, or else if there's none left after we answer this other question, we will call it a day. Where? And I can't find it. So I guess, yeah, if no one else has a question, we'll go ahead and call it there. Yeah, that's it for today, guys. Thanks for showing up. Hopefully we answered your questions nice and good, and you're gonna go home and
Make a milli.
Yeah, make about $1 million.
Yeah.
And invest it into the stock market.
Yeah, so you can lose it all and then realize you gotta keep, chugging away.
It's been a rough couple days.
Yeah, we're not stock people, so definitely don't listen to us if we're ever, here or in a drunk live feed that might happen at some point in time.
After we lose all our money.
Yeah. Yeah, guys, per usual, subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. Join the email list if you want to be notified on any new updates. And join the Facebook group. It's where we're, most active. Ask questions, etc. Invite your friends. Other exciting news. Tomorrow we've got something rolling out that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I know at least a couple people are going to be real excited about this. We've got something coming tomorrow that we've been promising is going to come for a while.
Yeah.
And we've kind of been sitting on it, but it's ready. It's here. It's coming tomorrow. We should have hyped it up.
Yeah.
We suck at this.
Yeah, we're really bad at hyping up our shit. Maybe you guys can help us with that,
Or maybe we should push it off and hype it starting tomorrow.
Well, let's let a select few, in the know here, and then they won't be as surprised. Yeah, we've got our Sir Links a Lot affiliate programs coming out. It's got really tasty commissions for you guys. It's just for what,
Yeah, you're right. Probably everyone's not even watching anymore anyway.
Yeah, they don't care anymore. Yeah, so anyhow, coming out. Get ready to make that money if you've got a blog or anything. Use our affiliate link.
I'm kind of deflated.
Yeah, whatever.
All right, guys. Yeah, thanks for coming out. We'll see you next week. Same time, same place. Wednesday, 12 p.m. noon Central Time.